Good morning and welcome back. Today's topic is finger pointing. I have to use this one right up front. You notice as I point my finger at you, how many fingers are pointing back at me? Yeah, I have to look at the camera so I know which way my hand is going there. Just something to think about. It seems to me that more and more every situation ends up with fingers waggling out in front. It's your fault, it's their fault, it's the school's fault, it's the city's fault, it's the government's fault. Everything is someone else's fault. Are any of us responsible or accountable for anything nowadays? You see a kid gets shot in a neighborhood and everybody's out there, it's the police officer's fault, it's this fault, it's that fault. And I realize there are some mistakes. I don't doubt that at all. But the way I always kind of looked at it, what are you doing out there breaking into somebody's place? What are you doing out there carrying a gun, fighting, doing all these different things? And I realize that may sound a little judgmental, but maybe perhaps it is. But we don't have to be in those positions. We don't have to put ourselves in those positions. And we certainly then don't have to blame other people for putting ourselves there. I see people upset about a kid at school got into a fight and got suspended or got in trouble, and they're blaming the school. Do we not teach our kids not to fight? Do we not teach them to get along? I don't know. It just saddens me. There's so much going on around us. And the interesting thing is, as you point the one finger out, there's three fingers looking back at you. And what that tries to say is what we already know, that most times when we're blaming someone else or pointing our finger at someone else, the reason those things are bothering us so much in the first place is because deep inside, those are the same things about ourselves that just drive us crazy. And even when they're not, consciously something that bothers us about ourselves, I think maybe subconsciously we know inside that given the right set of circumstances, the situation could involve us. We could be that person, which brings about the phrase I really like, but for the grace of God go I. What am I trying to say about all this today? I guess what I'm trying to say is I think it's time that we look at ourselves, and instead of pointing fingers at everyone else, maybe we might consider thinking, how am I contributing to this situation? What can I do to be accountable for my own actions? What can I do to improve things? What can I do to be a better person? How can I live my life so I'm not even around these situations? That's a good one right there. You ever notice how there are people that always seem to be in the middle of these situations where they're pointing fingers? Because they seem to attract this kind of behavior. They attract this energy because that's what they're always thinking about and always getting involved in. So I'm just asking us to think for a minute, use our heads, some common sense, and some brain power maybe. If we don't put ourselves in a lot of these positions, we won't be getting into the problems to point our fingers about. If we spend time with our children, teach them how to be a good person, be an example to them of what a good person is, what we think a good person is. It doesn't have to be what somebody else thinks it is, but what we believe a good person is. That you treat others with respect, with kindness, with patience. You don't go around beating people up, bullying people. You don't go around calling them names. You don't do things to someone else that you wouldn't want done to you. That's the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Pretty simple. I guess let's just use our heads. Quit using our fingers. Yeah, there's one finger that always comes to mind, isn't there? Seriously though, next time we see something that maybe bothers us a little bit, before we go pointing fingers and trying to blame someone else, maybe we might consider what we might be able to do to improve the situation, resolve the situation, and what we might do to help prevent such a thing from happening in the future. by being those changes we'd like to see, as Gandhi says, goes a long way. And rather than always having to be right, let's work on being happy a little bit. So I don't know if I've hit enough on that or not. You let me know with your comments. If there's anything else you'd like to hear me talk about, let me know. I'm here for you. I really appreciate you listening, and I hope you have a great day. And I will point my finger at you when I say, I love you. So until next we meet, thanks so much.